let's talk about Danbury locally. Now, there is a distinction between the Republicans and the Democrats.
Certainly.
Right. So we're not quite sure your distinction, the Democratic Party, okay? Because one of the things that we discussed last time we were on the show is that we're not quite sure where you are, your issues, your voice. We haven't heard anything. Okay. So can you let us know, as the leader of your party here locally, how you distinguish yourself from the Republican Party, and what are the issues that you're going to start targeting right now?
Certainly. Some of the issues that we'll be targeting are issues that our Common Council caucus will be addressing. Others are ones that we as a town committee will address. But there are some distinctions between the two parties, and I'll use some that are actually approaching rapidly.
Okay.
There's a referenda coming up in Danbury on several bond items and bond questions. For no rational reason I can understand, the bond questions have all been separated. One of the bond questions is, should the city of Danbury bond for a parking garage to be built on the west side of Main Street basically behind the banks, behind Union Savings, behind Savings Bank of Danbury. Number one, I don't think that bond should be separated out. I think that's actually a silent signal that the mayor's probably not in favor of that project, which is abundantly clear by his historical performance in office.
Okay.
A bond package was approved in the Vision 21 Squared bond package proposed by Mayor Eriquez. It was approved on Election Day in 2001. There was sufficient bond money in that proposal to build a parking garage on that site behind the banks and do the planning and design for a second parking garage on Liberty Street. 4 years later, nothing's been done.
Yeah, there's no garage.
$1.3 million of that Vision 21 Squared bond money was removed from the bond and applied to the roads and infrastructure in Danbury to pay for paving.
Can they do that?
They can. They got a ruling from bond council
Okay.
that it was permissible to do it. So it's not it's not that it's a violation of the law. It's that it flies in the face of the fact that the voters approved this project in 2001.
Right.
And it causes me to seriously question the mayor's commitment to a parking garage in this location.
But isn't that even an ethical thing? Because again, the project should be at least fulfilled if you have the money for it. And if you've gone through the process of getting the voters to say yes, get the money in your house, let's start the project. Obviously it didn't happen. I mean, isn't there something in there?
I think it shows a lack of leadership.
Okay.
I certainly think it shows a lack of vision.
Okay.
It goes to the fact that I think, frankly, the downtown in Danbury has been ignored for the last 4 years. There hasn't been an emphasis. The emphasis that Mayor Eriquez had for the downtown and redeveloping the downtown seems to have been, the focus has shifted and was lost. The new focus for downtown, and this is another distinction amongst the parties, the current mayor has been very forceful in advocating market rate housing downtown. I live on Main Street. I agree that downtown Danbury is a good place to live. I enjoy living downtown.
Okay.
I think market rate housing downtown is a very good idea. I'm not opposed to market rate housing on the old Amphenol site on Kennedy Avenue. I do think, however, that over 500 units is far too many.
Right. Okay.
That project is far too big, and there was absolutely no basis in reality, good common sense, good planning, good fiscal responsibility to give the developer a 7-year tax break per unit.
Okay.
And that's a tax break that transfers when the unit is sold. So if Greg Williams buys the first unit, lives in it for 2 years, sells it to Ivan for 3 years, who lives there for 3 years and sells it to me, for 2 years, I get the tax break. I get no taxes on my unit. Danbury has never traditionally done
that.
Tax abatements, and it's not a deferral. A deferral implies that it is deferred to a later date. This is an outright abatement. This is the elimination of property taxes on these units for over 500 units. That's a total cost to the city of over $10 million at today's tax rates.
Let me ask you this.